In a spiritual life, one's consciousness is everywhere, forever. You're aware of the grace of the divine, the purity, the simplicity, and that's in a unimaginable to the ordinary mindset sense. Your senses are full-blown to eternity. You can sense the very Godhead and every animal that swims in the sea and walks the earth, or ever was or would be. You're attuned to everything, always, every moment. And your most trying times are trying to express this to those you love that are near you, because you are humble in a sense that no one can conceive who isn't as you are. You're the spiritual one. You're the teacher, the way shower. You understand all of this. And because of your purity, you're assailed day and night, your fine senses, by the silliness of this world. Talked about animals, seas, whatever. We are not an animal. We are not a body. The original intention of the scripture was, long as there are two bodies, it's Adam and Eve, there will be war. There will be some conflict, because we are not a body. In the infinity of the divine space that heaven is, that your consciousness has been all of your life, and you know, I'm speaking to you, the spiritual one. You understand the delicacy of these words, the poetry, the simplicity, the purity, the kindness of it. And understand how hard the crudeness of this world is, of those who believe in two bodies and getting ahead and winning or losing. There's neither. There's just this openness. This openness is your aperture to eternity. It is your soul's sense of existence, of consciousness. It's lighter than air, pure than more pure than knowing or not knowing. It just is, always. That's why those of us who are spiritual, we're hiding in the kitchen or the other room when we're children or adults. We're trying to maintain our balance, our quiet, waiting for that one moment to be that the knowledge within us would be sought. You're born to teach, to give, to heal, to inspire, to uplift, and in the end, which is what today is about, you're born to say, no more. It all ends during your time. It's not about beliefs or particular studies at all. It's about you being quiet and simple enough in your thought process to look right through it and realize that the horrors that we see around us need not be, because we're in touch with something unimaginably kind and pure and wondrous and simple and yes, human. Remember in the scripture when Jesus was hung and then he was one of the disciples, Thomas, he showed the disciples his hands where the spears or whatever were through, and spikes, and Thomas wanted to see the holes in his hands. And Jesus simply said that though one rose from the dead, they would not believe. That's being said to offer the understanding that we who have this spiritual, you who have this spiritual sense of life, this mystical purity in our heart and soul and our sensibilities, are living so far beyond the world, and we can't prove who or what we are because we're again, unimaginably humble, aren't we? If the truth be told, it's being told. Humility is the target that everyone around us uses to harm us, to prevent us, who is not spiritual. The rest, we're just children together, aren't we? We're just here. But we see through everything, we study everything, and we care for everyone. But in the end, we'll be very clear on right, wrong. And we'll end it through being quiet enough, pure enough, true enough to have a quiet confront, you can say. In other words, what's in front of you. But the confront is so empathetic and pure and simple, but even when I look at the devil, you're not afraid. You look at it and it will scare you away every time. It's a simple little infinitesimal being that keeps darting around. It's that simple. It's not more complex than that. I'm speaking to people who are spiritual, and you know that. It's just imagery. In spiritual life, we never feel like we're our body or our problems. Neither are we the solution to our problems. We're simply here in this very quiet place. We're aware of that should not be named. That purity. And yet we are the presence of that purity in this world. When we look up at God and find God, we'll find God finding us and lifting us and supporting us. There is an infinite presence of purity, of truth called God. And it's in all the mystical writings, spiritual writings. It's worshipped religiously by the contrite of heart, mind, and soul, and body. If you get quiet enough, simple enough, I'd say pure enough, but we're born that way. You're born that way. We're just made of starlight. No more, no less. That's said in that mystical, spiritual sense, because there's an infinite spiritual universe that has nothing to do with the solidity of this world. The solidity of this world is what the devil projects, and it's never existed. To make it clear, outside of this one world system, it's the silliness, the images. If you're spiritual, you sit quietly up in the mountains or in the kitchen, or my mom did with 6 kids running around, and she was always quiet and pure inside. How could that be? It can be. It must be. It will be. Because I'm not going to have any other woman, any other person live through what my mom lived through. You understand? So there's a person inside here. There's a man, a woman, a soul, a divine presence that's here, and we're all the same presence. And we don't want to see the misery anymore, do we? There are many methods to this, but simply seeing it and understanding will tell you everything. And then whatever is needed from moment to moment with the different kinds of personalities around us and circumstances and situations and whatever presents itself, we'll know the truth of it and how to handle it. Whether it's simple love and healing and kindness and humanity, or being the powerful divine presence that you are, that's here to, let me use the word, to judge the world. Judge means to see what's right and wrong, and your very eyes and your words will have permanent power, permanent presence as soon as you're allowing yourself to be yourself. You'll see him, the only God. And you know, the only God looking out from your eyes. And he'll use your voice, most of your heart and soul, to end the madness, to stop reacting, to be an adult who cares. As soon as you see your child, your grandchild, whatever, then you know why you're here and what you're to do, and mom gives her heart, soul, mind, and body, and dad goes to work. And you don't see him all day because he knows that his way of supporting is working. I'm not making a difference in people here, but I'm making a difference within your divine senses, that you'll evaluate every circumstance, whether you need to do something or not do something. There's a positive and a negative force flowing through things of the world, but as soon as you get very, very quiet, you'll transcend even that. And you'll give the devil his due by not giving anything, by not reacting. And you'll take a step over into the old promised land. That's what true religion offers us. Understanding, wisdom, use of this word, and power. You will have the power to overcome everything. If you look into the abyss long enough, you'll find the abyss looking into you. We're not here. We weren't, we never were. And since birth, we gave ourselves to this so we'd understand it. Since birth, that thing has been on us to make everything of this world real. We've accepted all of it. And as Goethe said, we're guilty without wanting to be and innocent without knowing. What's being said is let go of all the conditioning. You'll feel contrite of every person you might have heard or not heard, even though you'll see how you were trapped into the circumstance. But we're human beings, and the human expression of divinity will pour out from our heart. We'll care for those we may have hurt, even though we haven't hurt them, because we gave ourselves to this cause, accepted this human form. You, the formless, are the far-off mountains. Have something in here. And we care enough, we understand enough, we look clearly enough at it all. And then our child will succeed. We can even turn back the clock. So our mom and dad wouldn't have had to live through this madness. You understand, once you're in the divine atmosphere, you can clear anything. You're beyond all knowns and unknowns. You're born to teach, to heal, to care, to correct, to purify, to simplify, and you will. And you know you must. And that's not a commandment, that's a heart's need. It's a mother's love, a father's strength, a sister's kindness, a brother's support. You will fulfill a most divine destiny. That's written across the stars in heaven. It has nothing to do with human strength or even intelligence. It has to do with purity, humility, and looking right through the dark force without reacting. And that's more than you'll need. Once you understand and know that you know, it'll be all over. It's not a big deal. Accepting for the fact that you've taken this on, you've lived through a rather hellacious circumstance to get here, haven't you? You gave yourself to this. You're God's great hero in a hell. Who is he that ascended up to heaven except it be he who first descended into the lower parts of the earth and gave gifts unto men? That's who you are. You'll give gifts. Spiritually, you'll inspire, you'll teach, you'll care, correct, heal, redirect. You'll be there for the right person at the right time in the right circumstance. And boy, does it cost us, doesn't it? And we'll always know which person to correct at the very hairline moment that they'll accept it. And if they have a dark being with them, fixed ideas about the world, or some possessive being in them, we'll know exactly what it is and when we can correct it or not. And we'll no longer be on Satan's string. And the moment we understand these words, it'll be over. We'll have the visions throughout the day and evening hours. And we'll walk arm in arm, astride one another, away from the madness, back into the light. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Skolta.